Hi, AIM students. This is Miss Cruz, and I thought I would just bring you along today. I'm going to make some salsa, and I'm going to be using up more of my frozen food. I'm cooking it, as you know, and I'm pretty excited about it. So we'll keep, this is the first step right here, and it's just heating up tomatoes and the peppers, and what I'm doing is just slightly turning them so that the peel will easily be removed. So these are fresh tomatoes from the garden. Okay, so now I'm going to put these tomatoes into a glass dish for just a few minutes. I'm going to cover it so that the peels will get very loose and it'll be easy to peel off before I put it into the blender. I'm going to toss some green beans into this colander and rinse them off. And this way, I'll still cut off the little tips on them. I'm going to just do that and cut them up a little bit. Give them a nice solution here. We'll just pull these out now and bring them over to our cutting board. Okay, so I'm just going to start cutting the tips off of these green beans and get them ready. I will just toss them into this little container right here. Well, it's a little pitcher, but I use it with the colander. It really wasn't designed that way, but I found them at the Dollar Tree store, and I thought it was a pretty good, decent buy for what I'm going to do with it. It's not really heavy duty. I don't have a metal or a mesh colander, but that's fine. I make do with this. And also it's lightweight, which is important to me, not to be lifting too many heavy things all day long, especially in the kitchen. Although you're going to see the canner that I ordered is quite heavy, so I should be getting pretty good exercise with that canner when I start canning. And again, you know, I bring up the canner because I am not like a heavy-duty prepper, you know, which prepper is just someone who, you know, is trying to be prepared for the months ahead. And for me, right now, or for any time ahead, it doesn't have to necessarily be for this coming winter, but because of the COVID and because I'm not able to shop as often, well, it's not that I absolutely can't, but you know, it's recommended that I not be shopping all the time. Then this is just making ahead things and having inventory of things so that if I do have to go to the store, it will be quickly because I'll be in and out. I'll have a list made and I know exactly what I want. Come out of there quickly, which I used to do, sort of. Well, now I have it on my phone, but just with the COVID situation, I'm just paying a closer attention to it. So that's what this is a part of. And of course, prepping is a lot of things. It's not just food. It can be, like for you guys, you could be prepping to go back to school. Whether it's online or in person, it's important to have, you know, things like extra pencils and papers and your crafting things. Just whatever it is that you're going to be focused on this coming year. So that's a way to prep, you know, have that. And, you know, I noticed some of the stuff is like pretty good, decent price right now. So And that's another reason to prep ahead, regardless if it's for work or school or just for fun. You want to make sure that you have the supplies that you need in case the stores close down again. So that's part of what this is. I have what I'm going to be making today, besides the salsa, is this is called the guiso, which is probably very common to a lot of people, you know, all over the world. It just depends on where you are, but I don't think it's an uncommon dish for people to make, but we call it a guiso. But what I'm going to do is put these, I'm going to saute these string beans and toss them in with some hamburger meat that I've had in the freezer for a while. Have it here, it's just thawing out right now. I've had it for a while now, and it's just time to get it cooked up. And my goal is that as the colder months come around, I will have meals that I can just pull out of the freezer really quickly, and then either toss them into the oven if they need to be baked, or just let them thaw out and heat them, or even microwave them depending on what the dish is. But I found that while I'm doing this, I see where I have some waste, and then I also see I'm making inventory of what I still need, or like certain spices or veggies that I would like to have, and I just need to go and buy more. Okay, so I'm just gonna dice this onion up. So I'll cut it in half first, and then get the peel off the first layer. Don't really need that one. And okay, so I'm gonna give it a quick rinse. Then I also have a garbage. I just throw all my peels and things that are not going to be used into this bag, and I'll toss it out at the end. Okay, so I think I'm going to grab a larger knife for this. And how I'll be doing this, I will just thinly slice it in this direction. Because what I'll do is I'm just really going to saute them in a little bit of oil. I'll put the green beans to saute and set them aside. And then I will brown the hamburger. So one half of these onions will go into the sauteing of the green beans, and then the other half will go to brown the beef, the hamburger. That's what I'll do. And again, you guys, I've mentioned this before, but you need to really have help in the kitchen from your parents or your caregivers, whoever's taking care of you. You need to have help, because some of these skills that I have are because I learned them such a long time ago, and I've been doing this for such a long time. Okay. Also, some people may have a food processor. I don't. So everything that I do by hand. And it's kind of also a relaxation thing for me, because I enjoy doing it. So I wonder what you guys have been doing. Hopefully you have some activities, some new activities, and maybe some new skills. I know I'm learning. I watch things on YouTube, and my granddaughter actually started baking. She's baking quite a bit, and she's memorizing recipes, and she wants to enter a contest of some kind, but she's actually getting pretty good at it. My son started baking bread, and wow, he's getting pretty good at that. So I'm also revisiting new ideas, not just the old skills that I have, but trying to come up with new skills. So I'm going to turn these now, and I'm just going to slice in the other direction. I'm thinking maybe just one time. because they're basically going to release the water in them, and they will cook down to just about nothing. You know, they'll be nice and they'll get smaller, and they're just going to be so tasty. Okay, I'm going to add some chilies. I'm still trying to use these up, and this would be a good opportunity to do it. Let's see, I need a fork. Now, I don't touch hot chilies, and even the carrots that are in here. Let's see if I can lift this up a little closer so you can see it. See, this escabeche has carrots in it also. Those are going to be hot. It's all hot. So I will definitely not touch it. And I don't recommend that you touch jalapenos. And not even when they are fresh. You know, you need to be careful, even if you're picking them or something out of the garden. Just, if you're going to touch them quickly, but certainly do not put your hands to your eyes, because they will be pretty hot. And for some of you, not even to your mouth, because if you don't have a tolerance for hot chilies, you could like start coughing and maybe not realize how hot they are, and you can sort of choke, or maybe choke, depending if you have food with it. But you need to just be careful if you've never eaten super hot jalapenos. Sometimes I remember my grandfather, they used to play games like who could eat the hottest chili, especially if somebody new came into the family, or just to kind of play a joke. But really, when I think about it, really, I guess they were, you know, older guys, but still probably not a good game for children to play. Okay, so I think that's gonna do it. I'm not a huge chili eater. I mean, I put chili in everything. And even when my children were little, I never took chilies out of our food. I pretty much left hot spices in our food. And that was normal for us. But it wasn't overly spicy. Like, we're pretty always aware of when children are eating. In fact, my grandmother sometimes would make a side batch of food just for the children. So here we go. I'm going to start scooping these into the pan. You can hear it. I think I'm going to also put in like a teaspoon of the juice. Okay, so I decided to let's take a peek at those tomatoes that I had started earlier and see how they're doing. Okay, so I'm going to hold one up, and so you can see how easy the peel will just peel off now. So I'm going to peel all of these and dice them up. And I was going to put it into the blender to make salsa, but I just decided I'm going to go ahead and just make the salsa in the pan type of a deal. So I'm going to see how that goes. I think it's going to be fine because I'm already sauteing the green beans with the onions are together now, and I will add these tomatoes and I'll let you see it then. Okay, those little sweet peppers, here they are. I'm going to go ahead and toss those in now. Okay, so here's the last of the tomatoes, and I'm going to toss those into the pan, and then I'll let you see it. There they are. So together, and then I will start mixing them. And it's starting to smell really good in here. Okay, I'll be right back. I'm going to start getting the meat ready. And I will be adding the onion very soon. Okay, so then I'm going to add some cominos and some adobo. And I will start adding these onions with that little bit of that tomato juice in just a couple of minutes after the meat browns just a little bit more. I added the onions and that little bit of tomato juice that was left. And now I'm going to start stirring it around and browning all this together. Okay, so I'm going to add a little bit of red pepper flakes to it just because I know I've got the jalapenos in the other one, but I still just, I guess, out of habit, use the red peppers no matter what. And this ingredient is kind of off the wall, but I also put just regular old ketchup in here just because my kids like it. We all like it. Certainly not anything my grandmother did, but that's okay. We like it. So yeah, when you're cooking, you know, you need to cook according to what your family likes to eat. There's so many different combinations and flavors for any kind of food that we cook, whether it's meat, veggies. You know, some people don't eat meat, and so for vegetarians, well, there's so many different ways to make vegetables, and maybe you can serve it with rice, quinoa, some pastas, different things. Certainly lots of leafy greens. But for this dish, which again, it's called guiso, this is how we're doing it. Some garlic powder that I'm trying to use up, and of course I have that minced garlic. It's huge that I got from Costco, and I need to use that up. So I'm going to go ahead and add the garlic with those flavorings. Okay, guys. So now I put the added the hamburger to the green beans, and I will start to stir it, and that's just about it. It'll be ready to put into smaller containers and put it into the freezer once it cools off, and then maybe pull it out to we just about can do anything with this. You could pour it over some quinoa, some rice, or you could even fill tacos with it if you wanted to. We often have so many different varieties of way that we fix meat for tacos or enchiladas or just about anything. Hope you enjoyed this video. We'll see you again, and you guys take really good care of yourself.